Brother, let me ask you something that might hurt, but you need to hear this. Why is it that you give her everything? Your time, your money, your loyalty, your soul. And still one day, she wakes up and says, I don't feel the same anymore. You sit there confused, broken, and you start blaming yourself. You wonder, wasn't my love enough? Wasn't my care enough? Wasn't I enough? But here's the brutal truth, brother. It's not about what you give her. It's about what you tell her. Because there are 5 dangerous secrets that a man should never, and I mean never, reveal to a woman. Not to your girlfriend, not to your wife, not even to the woman you think is your soulmate. Because the second you say them out loud, she will never see you the same way again. She'll start questioning you, judging you, testing you, and slowly, she'll lose respect for you, even if she doesn't realize it herself. And here's the scary part. Men around the world are making these mistakes every single day, without even knowing it. They're telling women things that instantly kill attraction, destroy respect, and turn a loving girlfriend into a cold stranger overnight. I know this sounds harsh, but brother, if you've ever wondered why she changed on you, why she pulled away, why she chose someone else, chances are you told her something you should have kept to yourself. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 deadly secrets that you must never share with a woman, because the moment you do, the game changes forever. So if you truly want to keep her respect, keep her attraction, and keep your power as a man, you cannot afford to miss a single second of this video. 1. Never tell her how lonely you are. Brother, listen carefully. There's a reason why the moment you confess your loneliness to a woman, something inside her shifts. It's not because she's cruel. It's because of how attraction works. Let me take you back to a time in my life when I made this mistake. Years ago, I was seeing Emily, a beautiful girl from Los Angeles. At first, she was all over me, texting me nonstop, laughing at my jokes, telling her friends she'd never met a guy like me. Why? Because I was busy. I had my own life. I was focused on my business, working on my fitness, and hanging out with my friends. She could feel that energy. A man who had purpose, a man who wasn't chasing her, a man who was building something bigger than her attention. But one night, sitting in my car outside her apartment, I made a mistake that changed everything. I looked at her and said softly, honestly, you're the only thing that makes me happy right now. I thought I was being romantic. I thought I was showing vulnerability. But brother, do you know what I saw in her eyes? Something shifted. Her smile faded. Her tone changed. And from that moment on, she wasn't the same with me anymore. She started replying slower. She stopped calling as much. Suddenly she was busy. Why? Because deep down, women don't want to feel like your only source of happiness. They're drawn to men who are complete, who are fulfilled without them. Here's the psychology behind it. When you say, you're the only thing that makes me happy, what she actually hears is, I have nothing else in my life. Without you, I'm empty, and nothing kills attraction faster than neediness. This doesn't mean you should act cold or emotionless. It means you must build a life so full of passion, purpose, and options that when she steps into it, she feels lucky to be part of it, not like she's carrying the weight of your happiness. Women are naturally attracted to abundance, brother, not financial abundance only. I'm talking about emotional abundance, social abundance, and purpose-driven abundance. A man with passions, a man with goals, a man who wakes up every morning building his empire, not begging for love. Think about it. If she's your whole world, she starts feeling trapped. But if she's joining your world, she feels chosen, and that's magnetic. The best part? When you stop putting her at the center of your happiness, something magical happens. She chases you harder, because now she feels like she has to earn your attention, not own it by default. So remember this rule. A man who's fulfilled alone becomes irresistible when he chooses company. 2. Never tell her everything about your past. Brother, listen closely. Your past is not a confession booth. Your deepest heartbreaks, mistakes, failures, the times you were cheated on, the women who left you. She doesn't need to know it all. Why? Because the moment you overshare, you give away your mystery. I learned this the hard way with Sophia, a girl I dated in New York City. She was smart, stunning, and classy, And I thought, if I tell her everything about my past, she'll love me more because she'll understand me better. So, on one of our late-night phone calls, I opened up completely. I told her about my ex-girlfriend who cheated on me. I told her about the times I got played. I told her about the stupid mistakes I made chasing women who never cared. I told her everything. And at first she seemed comforting. She said, "I'd never do that to you." She said, "I'm not like other girls." But slowly, things began to change. She started comparing herself to those other women. She became insecure. She started testing me. And worst of all, she started looking at me like a man who'd been broken too many times. Here's the reality. When you tell a woman every detail of your past, she starts creating stories in her head. She starts wondering if you've really moved on, if you're still carrying scars, or worse, if she might become just another chapter in your book of heartbreak. Brother, women respect men who own their past, but they don't need to live inside it. Keep this rule in mind. Share lessons, not details. You can say, "I've been through tough relationships, but I've learned a lot and grown stronger." That's powerful. That shows maturity. That shows control. But giving away the full story, every name, every mistake, every heartbreak, that doesn't make her feel closer to you. It makes her feel like she has nothing new to discover. Remember this, brother. Mystery creates desire. Silence is seductive. When she has to wonder about you, she keeps chasing you. You're not hiding your past. You're simply protecting the present. Because the man she's attracted to is not the man you used to be. It's the man you are right now. And when you control the narrative, you control the attraction. 3. Never reveal your financial struggles. Brother, this one stings, but I need you to hear me with an open mind. The moment you open up about your financial struggles to a woman, the moment you say, "I'm broke right now," or "I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills," something inside her shifts. It's not because she's gold digging. It's because security is hardwired into her psychology. It's evolution, brother. A woman's attraction to a man has always been linked to safety, not just physical safety, but emotional and financial security too. It's not that she wants your money. It's that she wants to feel safe around you. Let me take you back to a few years ago. I was dating Olivia, a gorgeous girl from Miami. At first, she was completely into me. She loved my confidence, my drive, and the way I always seemed in control of my life. But one night, sitting in a coffee shop in South Beach, I made the mistake of oversharing. I told her about the financial losses I'd taken. I told her how my business was struggling. I told her how stressed I was about my debts. I thought she'd appreciate my honesty. Instead, something changed. Her tone softened, her smile faded, and from that day forward, she didn't look at me the same way. She wasn't cruel, but deep down, she stopped seeing me as the man who could protect her. That's when I understood the psychology behind it. A woman's attraction is emotional. When she sees you as a leader, her trust and respect grow. But when you start confessing weakness without control, her subconscious starts doubting your ability to lead. Now let me be clear. I'm not saying you should pretend to be rich. I'm not saying you should lie. I'm saying you should stay composed. Even if your bank account is at zero, you don't let it define your energy. You don't dump your stress onto her lap. You don't make her your financial therapist. Because here's the truth. When you project certainty, even in chaos, you trigger trust. When you stay calm, even when life is hard, she feels safe around you. Do you know what's even more powerful? Silence. Work in silence. Build in silence. Struggle in silence. Let her see your results, not your insecurities. Because when she witnesses you handling storms without panic, you become the kind of man she admires. The man she looks at and thinks, no matter what happens, he'll figure it out. And that's the energy that keeps a woman drawn to you. Not the size of your bank account, but the strength of your composure. Remember this rule, brother. You don't have to be rich to earn respect. You just have to be reliable. You just have to lead your life with discipline and certainty. Because a man who remains grounded, even when his world is shaking, is the man she'll never forget. 4. Never expose your deepest insecurities. Brother, this one is painful but powerful. Your deepest insecurities are not something you hand out freely, especially not to a woman you're dating. I know. You've been told that vulnerability builds connection. And yes, it does. but only when it's controlled vulnerability, not emotional dumping. Let me share a story with you. I once dated Chloe, a beautiful, ambitious girl from San Francisco. In the beginning, she loved how confident I was. She'd say things like, "I feel so safe around you. You always seem like you know what you're doing." And for months, everything was perfect. Until one night, I made a mistake. I told her about my deepest insecurity. I told her about the times I felt not good enough, about comparing myself to other men, about fearing failure, about wondering if I'd ever make it. I thought she'd understand me better. I thought she'd comfort me. And she did, for a while. But slowly, her attraction started fading, not because she didn't care, but because something shifted in her subconscious. Here's the psychology behind it. Attraction isn't logical. It's emotional. A woman can love you deeply, but the moment she feels like she has to mother you, the desire changes. When you hand her your deepest fears on a plate, you change her perception of you. You go from being the strong, grounded man to becoming the man she feels she must protect emotionally. And here's the problem. Women aren't wired to desire men they have to protect. They respect strength. They admire control. They crave a man who can handle his storms without breaking apart. Now, I'm not telling you to fake being emotionless. I'm telling you to master your emotional delivery. There's a huge difference between saying, "I've been feeling a little stressed lately, but I'm handling it," versus saying, "I don't know what I'm doing. I feel lost. I don't know how to fix my life." One builds respect, the other kills attraction. Controlled vulnerability is powerful. Emotional chaos is destructive. Women are naturally drawn to calm, grounded energy. When you keep your center, you become her anchor. And the more she sees you as her anchor, the more she trusts you, respects you, and desires you. Remember this, brother. Your insecurities are yours to master, not hers to manage. Because the moment she feels like she has to carry your emotional weight, something inside her shifts. And once that shift happens, things are never the same again. So stay composed, speak with confidence, share your thoughts, but own your strength. Because when you control your energy, you control her perception of you. And when you control her perception, you control the attraction. 5 destroys your peace and happiness. Brother, listen carefully because this is the one sign most men ignore until it's too late. A woman doesn't need to hit you. She doesn't need to cheat on you. And she doesn't even need to leave you to destroy you completely. All she needs to do is slowly, piece by piece, take away your peace. And the dangerous part? It doesn't happen overnight. It's silent. It's subtle. And by the time you realize it, you're already trapped. Let me take you back to a few years ago. I was dating Samantha, a gorgeous, successful woman from Los Angeles. On the surface, she had it all. The looks, the charm, the confidence. At first, she made me feel like the most important man in the world. But slowly, things started changing. First, it was the constant criticism. Nothing I did was enough. The way I dressed, the way I spoke, even the way I laughed, she always found something wrong. Then came the comparison games. She'd casually mention how her friend's boyfriend bought her a new car, how her ex made 6 figures, how other men were so much more ambitious. At first, I brushed it off, thinking she just wanted me to improve. But deep down, I was losing something far more valuable than money or status. I was losing myself. This is what men don't realize. When you stay with a woman who constantly attacks your peace, you start questioning your worth. You start doubting your decisions. You start thinking you're not enough. And brother, the moment you believe you're not enough, you become weak. Not physically or emotionally. And here's the brutal truth. Once a woman destroys your inner peace, she controls you without even trying. Because when your mind is full of chaos, you stop thinking clearly. You start chasing her approval instead of chasing your purpose. You start doing everything to make her happy, even if it kills your happiness in the process. That's how good men lose themselves. Now let me tell you what I learned. There are 2 types of women. The kind who add to your life and the kind who drain your life. The first one inspires you. She makes you calmer, stronger, more focused. She respects your boundaries and wants to see you win. The second one, she feeds on drama. She thrives on chaos. And if you let her in, she'll slowly rewrite your identity until you no longer recognize the man in the mirror. Samantha was the second kind. I remember one night. I came home after a 12-hour grind. Exhausted but proud. I had just closed a huge deal, and all I wanted was to share the win with her. But instead of celebrating, she looked at me and said, "That's it? Other men are doing way more than you." Brother, those 6 words hit me harder than any punch. That night I couldn't sleep. Not because of what she said, but because I let it affect me. I realized I was becoming a slave to someone else's validation, and that's when it clicked. If a woman can control your emotions, she controls your life. From that day forward, I made a decision. My peace comes first. Because here's the truth men don't hear enough. You can have millions in the bank, a luxury penthouse in New York, and the fastest car in Miami. But if the woman in your life constantly attacks your peace, you'll still feel empty inside. Peace is priceless. Without it, nothing else matters. And here's the deeper psychology behind it. Women test men constantly, not because they're evil, but because subconsciously, they want to know if you're strong enough to lead yourself. When she criticizes you, when she tries to stir up drama, when she pushes your buttons, she's testing your emotional control. If you break down, she loses respect. If you fight back with chaos, she sees you as unstable. But when you stay calm, grounded, and unmoved, you pass the test. Because nothing attracts a woman more than a man who is unshakable, and nothing repels a woman more than a man who loses his peace over every little storm. So here's the ultimate rule, brother. If a woman destroys your peace, you have 2 options. Communicate clearly. Set boundaries. Let her know where the line is. Walk away if nothing changes. Because staying with a woman who constantly drains your energy will cost you more than heartbreak. It'll cost you your purpose, your dreams, and your future. I want you to remember this. The right woman will never make you choose between her and your peace. She'll become your peace. The wrong woman, she'll destroy it, piece by piece, until you're just a shell of who you used to be. Never let anyone, no matter how beautiful, no matter how charming, no matter how much you love her, take away the calm inside you. Because once you lose that, you lose everything. Conclusion. Brother, listen carefully. This isn't about hiding who you are. It's about protecting your value. When you stop oversharing, you stop giving away your power. You stop looking desperate. You start looking like a man who chooses, not a man who begs to be chosen. Women respect mystery. They crave strength. They admire discipline. So, from this moment on, keep these 5 secrets close. Never confess loneliness. Never give away your whole past. Never dump your financial struggles. Never expose your deepest insecurities. Never reveal your next move. When you master what not to say, you master how she sees you. You stop being the man she settles for and become the man she fears losing. And with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.